way to victory.
Shields are down.
Oh, come on.
Stay mobile.
Shields are down.
Double kill. Triple kill. Enemy team nearing victory.
You're a machine, Spawn. A machine that produces victory.
Enemy shields down.
M41 Spanker is a go.
Doesn't have the range.
Keep your head down.
Do try not to crash.
What?
Shields down.
Spartan down.
Defeat.
Overflow because it's a much faster way to get answers to basic programming problems. What's crazy though is that this is just a general purpose tool. It's not even designed for programming specifically. Now just imagine what will happen when this technology is focused on replacing programming. Here's how I think it might play out over the next few years. First, AI will start to take over as the decision maker on your actual machine. Microsoft has already developed Codex CLI to bring AI to the command line. Instead of learning Linux, in the near future, you should be able to just tell AI what you want, and it will run all the necessary commands for you automatically. That technology is essentially already here. What I expect to happen next is that AI will start to build out
Fiesta.
Rack up the most kills to achieve victory.
What the fuck?
Lost the lead.
How tragic for them.
That was retarded.
Gained the lead.
Go. Fuck. Shit.
Shields down. Target down.
way to victory.
Okay. Do each other at the same time, right? Okay, let's... Ah.
Heavy weaponry costs us another teammate.
Gained the lead.
In my sights.
Lost a teammate.
Lost the lead.
That spanker is showing up. Sword bearer's about to
Gained the lead.
What?
Clearing victory.
No ammo. It's just one. Bitch. Oh, fuck yeah.
I do believe this is ours.
Windshield wiper.
I've been stuck.
Victory. Double kill.
How do I leave? Fuck it.
Fiesta.
Nice.
Hire projects for you based on the requirements that you give it. Kind of like test-driven development, where all you do is write some basic testing code, then AI installs all the packages, creates all the files, and writes all the code for you. It'll be able to run the app itself, find any errors, and correct them. Eventually, it will get so good that you don't even have to worry about the code it writes, and this will lead to a whole new class of artificial development environments.
Yeah, great. What can you spawn now?
Hill incoming.
Claiming it is easy. Keeping it, on the other hand.
Hill ready. Hill control. score. Enemy team took the hill. Hill controlled. Your team scored. Hill incoming. Hill ready. Hill controlled. Enemy team took the hill. Hill controlled. Enemy team took the hill. Hill controlled. Your team about to score. Your team scored. Hill incoming. Hill ready. Hill control.
You're on a roll, Spartan.
Nearing victory. Victory. Steak-tacular.
The pilot has already been very successful, but it's just the beginning of this great world war. Front-end development, I would expect these tools to look kind of like Figma, but with extra controls to make everything interconnected and interactive to work on any app platform. On the back end, we might have something that looks like a diagram or flowchart that describes a bunch of API endpoints or microservices. Now, all of this will be integrated into a single environment, allowing the AI to infer the database models and resources needed to execute the project, and not just make it work, but also optimize it in every way imaginable. In a matter of seconds, it could generate the project in multiple different languages with multiple different frameworks to figure out which one performs the best. Actually, no, it. It could create its own brand new JavaScript framework that is perfectly optimized for your requirements. Actually, no. Why would we even need JavaScript at that point? Programming languages are just for dumb monkeys. AI will be able to write a raw executable straight from machine code. It can come up with its own perfectly optimized compiler on the fly, then write comprehensive documentation about it in any language. Ultimately, what I think this might lead to is a universal AI-driven programming language, a single deterministic language that turns every human into a coding god. By simply describing your vision, the AI will figure out how to arrange the ones and zeros to make it a reality. In fact, when we get our Neuralinks, we won't even have to write anything down, we can just think it and it will appear. Now, I realize Neuralink has killed almost all the monkeys and pigs that have tried it, but when they open up human trials in 6 months, I'm gonna be first in line. This language will be so undeniably powerful that virtually everything else in the world becomes obsolete overnight. The world will still need engineers to solve problems, but writing code will not be one of their responsibilities. It'll become an esoteric skill that only weirdos take the time to learn, kind of like celestial navigation. I, for one, think this is an awesome outcome. Writing code is just a means to an end. The reason I learned to write code in the first place was because I wanted to build cool stuff. If AI can help me build cool stuff faster without the need to learn a new JavaScript framework every week, then I will gladly bend the knee. On second thought though, it's very possible that none of this will ever happen. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we're still writing JavaScript and C++ code 50 years from now. This has been the Code Report. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Is it gonna load?
Russia and Alaska are very close to each other. That fact was proven in an amazing fashion this week when 2 Russian men fled their country's war in a small boat and landed in Alaska. They sailed from very far eastern Russia, an area called Chukotka, across the Bering Sea to St. Lawrence Island, a remote Alaskan island that's about 50 miles from the nearest Russian coast. They apparently were seeking asylum from conscription in the Ukraine war. It's the first time that we know of anyone using this route to seek asylum in this war. It's very isolated, very cold, and very dangerous. Have you ever seen Deadliest Catch? The Russian nationals landed in the small town of Gambelt, an American...
You stay mobile. Teammate.
They're under us.
Active camo available.
Lost the lead. Gained the lead.
Shields are down. We've lost a teammate. Tango going in. Enemy Spartan closing in.
Lost the lead.
Heads up!
We're under attack. Tango's closing in.
Lost a teammate.
Enemy halfway to victory.
Active camo available. Classic kill.
Enemy Spartan attached ammo.
Enemy team nearing victory.
Come on, sure.
Spartan down.
We're under attack.
Machine guns suit you, Spartan. Active camo inbound.
Defeat.
What's this? Let's see.
We have an Apple Watch. Too many.
Today I'm going to the lowest. This will be one of your hardest game sense missions.
Never say no to money. I see companies all the time saying no to money. You don't realize even you say no to money. Oh, we don't take big money. Why? Oh, we don't like it. It's still money. You may prefer other forms of currency. I will take your money any way you want to send it. If you want to give me Iraqi dinars, fine. You check the exchange rate, bang, yeah, 18 million Iraqi dinars.
Довольны ли вы тем, как проходит сейчас специальная военная операция? О, сложный вопрос. Давай без него.
или нет, но я поддерживаю.
Насчет специальной военной операции. Ну, довольны ли вы тем, как она сейчас проходит?
А ты недоволен? Это сами знаете, военные. Нехуй их торопить. Нужно будет. Прыгнуть так, что мало не пахать. Понял?
Угу.
Выключи.
Понял. Все, спасибо.
Ой, я не знаю, но у меня вот двое мужиков воюют там, и сын, и зять. Сын сказал, если Россия в опасности, я не могу сидеть дома, и все, пошел служить.
А вы сами как считаете, мы в опасности?
Я вот на данный момент я не чувствую опасности, пока там наши мужчины. Но если бы наши еще пораньше туда пошли, может быть, и война бы так долго не продолжалась бы. Я вот так думаю, не знаю, как оно на самом деле.
Ладно, тогда спасибо. Не задерживаю.
Путин правильно поступает.
Поддержите, да?
Да, поддерживаю.
Довольны ли вы тем, как проходит сейчас специальная военная операция на Украине?
Доволен?
А вам не кажется, что там затянулось немного?
Да, если там учишь пока.
Ninja Fury. Dude, come on.
Are Russian soldiers. They're protesting against the Russian government because they haven't been paid what they were promised for fighting this war. This is a symptom of a bigger problem that Vladimir Putin is facing. Russia's economy is dying, and it's all because of the war that Putin started. The famous saying is true, no one wins in a war. Just because Europe is struggling, that doesn't mean Russia is any better off. In fact, as you will soon see, Russia might be very close to collapsing in on itself, and it's all playing out right in front of us. Sanctions are pushing the Russian economy down a dangerous path, and the invasion is costing Russia its entire future. According to Russia's own central bank, Russia is set for the deepest recession of any large economy this year. So in today's video, let's go over how bad of a situation the Russian economy is facing, and how long can Putin afford to continue his senseless invasion.
Мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции. Ее цель – защита людей, которые на протяжении 8 лет подвергаются издевательствам, геноциду со стороны киевского режима.
Come on.
After months of preparations, the Russian President Vladimir Putin has launched a major military operation against Ukraine. Speaking on national television, Mr. Putin urged Ukrainian troops to lay down their arms and go home.
We can see the Ukrainian forces exerting a very comprehensive push across the whole territory.
Ukraine's army has said it made major gains around the port city of Kherson following Russia's announcement that its troops were withdrawing from the area.
Jubilation in the streets as Ukrainian soldiers retook the strategic city of Kherson after Russian forces retreated.
First, let me address the elephant in the comments. I know everyone predicted that Russia's economy would collapse when sanctions were first announced. But looking back, it didn't. So what happened there? Well, Russia's economy did hurt initially from sanctions, but it had its oil and gas industry to depend upon to make up for any loss. We'll go into more detail about this soon, but as oil prices rose, Russia made more money, and the economy survived because of that. But now oil prices are slowly coming down, and other countries are getting less dependent on Russian oil, so things are not looking good for the Russian economy. Let's get into what problems it's facing.
Oh, finally.
But first, let's back up a little bit and start from the beginning. As soon as Putin launched his...
Enemy flag carrier spotted.
An ally returned our flag.
Come on. What? Oh, no.
Power items en route. Power items have arrived.
What is this?
Do try not to crash. Our forces have seized the enemy flag.
Skewer.
The enemy has your flag.
The enemy carrier has revealed themselves.
Got him.
Hydra inbound. Power items incoming. Hydra available. Power items on the field.
Fucking sniper rifle.
An ally captured the flag.
Rockets are available. Get to the skewer.
Hydra inbound. Power items inbound.
Grab the skewer.
Hydra available. Power items have arrived. Laid low by flying garbage.
flag.
I do believe this is ours. Look there, an enemy flag carrier.
Try and leave, Ken.
Hydra inbound. Power items en route. Look there, an enemy flag carrier.
Killing spree.
Hydra available. Power items to the right.
An ally returned our flag.
What a reliable weapon.
Yep. Don't mind if I do.
Shields boosted.
Aww.
Killing frenzy.
The enemy has your flag.
They have our flag. Take it back.
Ah, fuck you. You ain't got any.
Hydra inbound. Power items en route.
Thank goodness, Ken.
Take cover.
Again? Oh shit.
They have our flag. Take it back.
Five minutes remaining.
The enemy carrier has revealed themselves.
I'm not going to work here. I don't have a benefit. What the fuck is he?
The enemy carrier has revealed themselves. Hydra inbound. Power items incoming. The enemy carrier has revealed themselves. Hydra available. Power items to the right.
In my sights. Target spotted. Enemy there. Target spotted.
No fucking way. No fucking way.
In my sights.
Look there, an enemy flag carrier.
An ally returned our flag.
Hydra inbound.
Yard sale.
Power items inbound. Hydra available. Power items have arrived.
In my sights.
Yard sale.
Remaining. The enemy has your flag.
Look there, an enemy flag carrier. Power weapons inbound.
We've got sudden death.
Power weapons now available.
Sudden death.
An ally returned our flag.
Victory.
Another victory, Spartan.
Dependent countries are on each other, it could all go away in the blink of an eye. Or at least, that's what the media made it out to be. It was predicted that Russia would lose 15% of its economic output in just 1 year because of these strict sanctions. The sanctions included a freeze on Russia's foreign reserves, restrictions on critical supplies it got from trade, blocking oligarchs' access to the world, and much more. As bad as all that sounds, things didn't quite work out as predicted, at least when looking from the outside. The Russian ruble dropped at the beginning of the war, but it quickly recovered and climbed higher than the pre-war level. The 15% drop in the Russian economy was revised to 7%, then 5%, then 4%, and instead of the Russian economy crashing, the news cycle was overtaken by European nations' economies struggling sanctioned Russia into oblivion. And the countries that ended up struggling from the sanctions were the ones imposing the sanctions. This sounds like a meme. Well, looks like things didn't go as planned, right? Not exactly. Let me explain.
And targeted sanctions. We will target strategic sectors of the Russian economy by blocking their access to technologies and markets that are key for Russia.
Sixth package of sanctions against Moscow over its war on Ukraine and called for a phased embargo of Russian oil imports by the end of the year.
The Biden administration's plans for sanctioning Russia are taking shape. U.S. institutions would be prohibited from dealing with major Russian banks and state companies.
This was a direct and debilitating hit on the Russian economy. The removal of Russian banks from the SWIFT financial network and the sanctioning of the Russian central bank are unprecedented in their impact, and they're sending Russia back to the 20th century in terms of its financial standing.
Yeah, quite right. The ruble has sunk to another record low.
His announcement last week sparked an exodus of Russians fleeing across the border into Georgia, Finland, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, and elsewhere to avoid being conscripted.
You see, it would be unfair to say the sanctions didn't work. Russia has no access to microchips, which severely hinders its capability to fight a modern war. Its car industry is dead because of the sanctions. The aviation industry was pushed back decades because important equipment are not arriving from Europe and the US. Inflation is currently at 12% in Russia because of the shortages in essential goods, all while the central bank is cutting interest rates to fight off the recession. So if everything is going down the gutters, how is Russia continuing the war? Well, oil and gas. Since 2017, Russia has been building its war chest to prepare for a situation like this. On top of that, as soon as the invasion was launched, oil prices shot up to the highest level this year, and they have stayed relatively high for a good part of the year. This helped Russia generate a record amount of revenue and keep funding its economy and the war. Record oil prices and the inelasticity of oil demand helped offset a lot of the drag down from the sanctions. Russia made $100 billion from fuel exports in the first 100 days after the invasion, which was up 60% from the same time in the previous year. And it made more money while exporting less oil, all thanks to higher prices. Europe was one of Russia's biggest customers, and has been slow to stop their imports, as it's a necessary resource and hard to replace quickly. Whatever revenue Russia lost from the United States was easily made up by increased purchases from India and China, but, at discounted prices. India and China realized that Russia needed to sell oil, and they took advantage of the situation to get it at 30% cheaper than market prices. Russia didn't mind the discount because oil prices were much higher than this time last year, so they can afford to give a little discount on an already raised price. But as the panic around oil demand slowly goes down, the prices are more likely to come down, given that OPEC doesn't help Russia too by continuing to cut supply. As this happens, Russia's revenue will also slow down, hurting the economy even more. We are already seeing signs of this happening. As exports to the EU fell, it was assumed that India and China would make up this demand. But as Russia is trying to decrease the discounts on prices, the demand from China and India is also decreasing. Europe is planning to stop buying Russian oil in December, which would be a huge dent in Russian fuel revenues. It's also predicted that Russia will likely run out of its reserves by the end of 2023, making it even harder to fund a war. That's why Western countries are also trying to introduce a price cap on Russian oil, so that Russia doesn't continue benefiting from high oil prices, and countries that need Russian oil can continue to get it. Details of this price cap are not yet set, but one likely scenario to convince other countries is, well, it's kind of aggressive. Let me explain. How can you convince countries like India or China to follow price caps set by Western nations? It's a bit hard, so one solution is threatening the country with sanctions if they don't follow these price caps, which is unlikely to help any of your relationships. So it's been reported that Biden isn't really considering this approach. Another strategy being considered is to apply an oil price cap using insurance companies, which are crucial to the shipping industry. Most of the oil around the world is shipped through the oceans, and these ships need insurance to set sail. It's a law, and it's required by ports if you want to dock. Around 90% of the insurance market is controlled by Europe and the USA. This gives them huge leverage. So to enforce a price cap, insurance companies would only insure a ship if the price of the oil on board doesn't exceed a price cap, which means if Russia wants to sell the oil, it needs to follow the price cap, which will reduce their top-line revenue.
New driver already. Okay. Wait, wasn't there supposed to be Portal RTX? Like today? Oh.
Victory!
What?
Revenue. Other than oil, gas is